everyone. This is Srividya, Assistant Professor in the Department of CSIT. In today's session, I am going to discuss command line arguments in C. The last session we have seen file handling functions, cursor positioning functions in files. In today's session, I am going to discuss command line arguments in C. So, what are command line arguments? And we will see with the sample program. In C, command line arguments can be passed to a program when it is executed. So, in C, command line arguments can be passed to a program when it is executed. And these arguments are passed as a list of strings to the main function. So, generally, you will write this line. For every time when we start writing the program, you will write int main, void main, or some compilers, you will write simply main. So, if you pass any of the arguments as a strings to the main function, so how the data will be or how the values will be passed. So that we will see here. When it is executed, these arguments are passed as a list of strings to the main function. The main function takes two arguments. The main function takes two arguments. What are those two arguments? argc and argv. The main function takes two arguments. One thing is argc and other one is argv. Argc is nothing but argument count. And argv is nothing but it's a vector, character array. So, argc is an argument count. It is an integer that represents the number of command line arguments that pass to the program. It's an integer that represents the number of command line arguments passed to the program. So, if you have how many arguments you are passing in the program, that will be maintained with argc. Means it is an argument count. Next, what is argv? This is a character array. Will pass string as an argument. The first element of argv is the name of the program itself. So, it is nothing but the vector. It's a character array. So, the first argument will be obviously the program name itself. The name of the file name also you can say. So, that is how you will represent. Suppose like that it will display. So, here the function takes two arguments argc and argv. Argc maintains the argument count. It is an integer that represents the number of command line arguments. How many command line arguments you want to pass? The count will be maintained here. And next one is number of strings you will pass. So, by default the name of the program itself is one string that you will pass as in the vector. So, if it is a character array, so how our array will be? In one dimensional, right? So, it's argument 0, 1 and 2. The syntax for this is command line argument C. As I told in the main section, you will directly pass these parameters as the parameters. So, int main, int argc. This is argument count. This is argument count. So, what is this count of type? It is integer. So, that's why the return type will be int. Next, argv is what? It's a character array. So, character array means so you need a pointer that will maintain the vector and it will be starting from 0, 1 to so on. How many strings you will pass based on that? So, this is the sample program. Here we are just printing the numbers. So, here hash include stdio.h. In the main function, what we have done? Int argc char pointer argv of. So, printf, just we are trying to print how many arguments we have passed and what is the count. Printf argument count equals to %d comma argc. Next, printf argument vector is equals to argv of 0. So here argument count, printf argument count. So here we have entered, suppose see 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So suppose consider these are your arguments. So total argument count is 6. And argument vector. So how many strings we have passed? We have not passed any strings, but the file name itself is one of the character array in the strings. So that is cmd1, because the name of the file is cmd1. That is also will be as one of the argument. So this is your output. So suppose we will consider one example. Consider a sum of two numbers as we will pass as the parameters in the command line arguments. So here stdio.h, stdlib.h, int main, int argc, arg pointer b, char pointer argb. So this is the vector. So what is this? If we want to check if there are exactly 3 command line arguments, program name and 2 integers. So this is sum of 2 numbers, but one of the input will be the file name also. So check if there are exactly 3 command line arguments. 3 command line arguments. One command line or one is program name and 2 are of integers. So if argc not equal to 3. So what is argc? Argc is nothing but the argument count. So if 3 not equal to 3. Let's consider printf usage %s num1 num2 slash an argument v of 0 return 1. So now what we are doing here? We are converting the command line arguments to integers. So int num1 to a2i argument of 1. Next int num2 a2i argv of 2. So now calculate the sum. Int sum is equals to number 1 plus num2. So we have taken 2 variables here, num1 and num2. So we are trying to add the 2 numbers. So here if you see the input, so command 5 is the name of the file and 2 integer values we have entered 10 and 20. So the sum of 10 and 20 is, here we have calculated the sum of 10 and 20 is 30. The same you will print here. So usage command 5, the name of the file here. %ls is one of the string, that is cmd5 num1 num2. So these are the character array. So here you will get the result as 10 and 10 plus 20, that is 30. So here you will pass in the main section. So these are the command line arguments in C. So obviously here one will be the count, how many strings we will pass, that will be maintained as the count. And if you pass, suppose based on that strings, suppose if you have passed 3 strings or 4 strings, so 4 plus 1 will be the name of the file and rest of the 4 will be strings, that is represented as the character array. So that you will represent it with the vector 0, 1, so on, like that. And this will be your count. So this is what about command line arguments. That's all for this session. Thank you.